You heard two voices. James, of course, from Mohave Community College, Director of Communications.
Yep.
And clean bathrooms.
That's it. Yeah, like when I was in the TV business, our engineers used to say that their tagline was from toilets to transmitters. So similar in the communications office. Yeah.
Microphones to toilets. Yeah. Okay. And then today you brought Jason G., who is the Dean of CTE programs.
Gee. Yeah.
Yes. Gee.
Yep. Gee. I didn't put a pronunciator on there. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I didn't put the pronunciator on there, yeah. Gee, Jason Gee.
Gee.
Yep.
Oh, not G.
As we call him, the Wizard of Career and Technical Education. Yeah.
The Wizard?
So, yeah, just think geek without the K.
Oh, okay. Does your business card say Wizard or Director?
It says
Dean.
Dean at the moment.
Dean. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But we got rebranding coming, right?
Yeah, you get new cards in another month, huh? Yeah. You never know what they'll put on there. So, and Klippenstein's out of here Monday.
Yep, that's his last day.
Klippenstein.
Yep, the president moving up north to College of Southern Nevada. Yeah, Monday will be his last day. And then we have Dr. Tim Culver, and Tim was in last month on the show. He is the interim. The board is launching into their search for a new president. They're going to select a national search company to conduct a national search, a firm. And
we call them headhunters.
Yeah. And so they'll do that, and the schedule is get that out there, get some applications in the fall, review the applications, bring in 3 finalists or so in the spring, make the decision, and then they'll start July 1st of 2026.
It's going to take a year to hire somebody?
That's pretty standard in higher education. Yeah, that's how the
Dr. Julie
CEO,
Bear, it takes
begins.
you a year?
that's every college and university. That's the cycle essentially.
Really?
For the college and university CEOs. Yeah.
Wow.
So now you're in the know. Yeah.
A year. Holy cow. How many internal candidates do you think that you will have?
I have no idea. Jason?
No. not happening.
Jason's got a brand new building. He doesn't want to transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure out whether this is a success or not, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Well, by next year, we'll know, yeah.
That's right.
Put that microphone right in front of your mouth, Jason. Let's talk about your brand new building.
Sure.
You're going to cut the ribbon here as soon as Klippenstein leaves.
Yeah.
In August 12th.
Yep.
And this building is at the airport in Kingman.
That's correct. It's in the Kingman Airport, yeah.
And you're calling it the Advanced Communication Training Center.
Advanced Manufacturing
Training
Center. Yep.
Okay. All right. What will you manufacture there?
Well, we're not going to manufacture anything, but we're going to train
we're changing the name, James.
We are training. It's manufacturing training, not emphasis on training as opposed to manufacturing. But our whole idea and the whole spirit of the building is being able to take concepts from concept to a prototype.
Okay.
So when you think about, here I have this idea, okay, we're going to do some basic sketching and drawing, measurements, things like that. Then we're going to dump those into a computer. We're going to do computer-aided design, right?
I'm going to come see you November 13th because I have a fantastic idea that could make a boatload of money, and we might as well give it to the college.
There we go. I'll take it.
You guys can take it and make a prototype in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we'll just do the equivalent of, Florida Gators and Gatorade. We'll turn it into something into Mohave Community College, right?
Now, Mohave College.
Mohave College now,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, now we're changing the name of that, too. Oh, my God.
It's a little shorter. It'll be fit on the label better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Everywhere on the building where you use big letters, you can now go bigger letters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and the new logo, too, so that'll look really nice.
Does it have a bowl in it?
No, it's well, you'll see it. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll talk about that next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now, how many students do you project that will be in this building at
How
one
many
time?
will fit in the building?
Well, I mean,
or?
how many would you like to squeeze in the building?
So we have, we can probably put 500 in there at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we probably won't have that many in there at a time. We have between 25 and 50 space for 25 to 50 in every training space that we have. So we have a manufacturing and industrial maintenance space that's about 3,500 square feet. So when you think about that in terms of a size of a home, right, how many people can you fit into a 3,000 square foot home?
Right.
And that's the way that we designed it, so that we can have a lot of room to grow. We don't want to fill the building today so that we don't have any room or opportunities for growth or change as industries change, the needs change. We have a robotics area that will be teaching robotics and automation. We'll also be doing virtual reality training in that same space. We'll have a welding space, a metal fabrication space. We'll have an HVAC training space where we'll be focusing on not only the traditional HVAC, but we'll be going into refrigeration as well as some of the new refrigerant types, the A2L that's coming out here, and like the mini split systems and things like that are the kind of the cutting edge in the HVAC programs.
Well, now you do HVAC here at Mohave campus.
We do.
In Bullhead City.
Do.
So is that going to duplicate that class, or you talked about getting into refrigeration, so it's going to be kind of advanced?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit further along, and then we will again train, but we will expand backwards from this Kingman facility and say, okay, these are the things that we need, and we need to bring them back to the Bullhead facility. Right now, the Bullhead facility is our star in the HVAC program by far. We're putting through 50 to 60 graduates a year in our HVAC program in Bullhead alone.
And that's fantastic.
Oh, it's so awesome. And we actually have that program on a smaller scale in Lake Havasu, and we've actually got a small version of it going on in Kingman right now. So when they're going to actually move into this nice space, they're not going to know what hit them.
But you'll still teach it at the Bullhead campus.
Absolutely. We're not moving any programs. We are expanding.
Okay.
So we've, over the past 10 years, where I've been the overseer of the CTE area.
The dean.
Yeah. Well, I haven't always been the dean, so that's why I didn't want to use that title for the whole 10 years, right? But we've tripled our enrollment across the different CTE programs.
And for our listeners, explain what some of those other programs are.
So we have auto service and auto collision. Those are both located in Bullhead City right now. We're looking to expand those, hopefully in the future, to Lake Havasu.
Okay.
We've got as we've talked, our HVAC program on all 3 southern campuses. We've got a culinary program here in Bullhead City. We've got an electrical program, so that's like residential electrical, that's going on in Kingman. We have a welding program that is on all southern campuses as well.
Okay.
So we're, again, taking welding and we're expanding that as well and going into a more fabrication oriented system. It's not that our welding is going to go away. It's absolutely not going to go away. But we are going to expand it and really focus more on fabrication, because that really is what's going on here in this area, is fabrication needs. And so we've just been listening to our industry partners who are saying these things to us. And so we're trying to make these adaptations and hopefully benefit students in terms of job prospects.
Because I would imagine that every HVAC company in Mohave County is looking for people.
Right now, especially, yes.
And the young lady that works at Arizona Comfort Solution that goes up in my attic is a graduate from MCC.
Oh, well, I didn't know that, and that's great.
Or actually, Mohave College.
Yes.
Yes. Well, and the interesting thing, too, about the AMTC, what Jason's developed, is that if you own an industry, let's say fabrication, right? Well, you need somebody that can come in and do some welding, something specific, a specific skill.
Right.
Well, he can get a hold of Jason and Jason's team. They don't have to go through a full semester of like a degree or certification program. They can tailor it specifically to your business.
Yeah, we call it customized training, right? So we do an actual sit down with them. We show them basically a smorgasbord or a menu of all of the different skills that we can offer, and then they can select the ones that we have. And if there are gaps, we can actually address those too. And again, like I was saying, we don't want the building to be full on day one,
right?
Because we want to hear a company say, and I'm just going to use an example. We've had a dozen companies say, we need to have water jet training. Well, we didn't think of that in the process of the building, right?
Okay.
So now that's our first item on our list of pieces of equipment that we're going to be looking to purchase next.
What is water jet training?
So a water jet is the equivalent of a saw with water.
Oh, okay.
So the power of water in a very small stream going at a very high rate of speed, and it makes a very clean cut. And so that's the advantage of using a water jet.
Okay.
You just got to have the technology to have it.
I can already hear some seniors out there listening to this program going, "Hey, honey, if I get a water jet, I can cut stained glass, I can cut wood, I can cut whatever.
Metal. Stone.
Yeah.
You actually have amazing opportunities when you have a piece of equipment that powerful.
Which just pretty much sounds expensive.
Yeah, it is a little expensive. And so we're thankful for all the people who donate to us and those who are supporting us in the build.
Okay. You were mentioning that you've called your buddy Senator Kelly and asked for some money?
Oh, well, I don't know if he's my buddy, but absolutely, yeah, we did. So we actually did it for the Advanced Manufacturing Training Center too, and it kind of fell through because of the turmoil in the Senate and the representatives during November and December, right? So we did this a second time, and we've made a request to them for equipment purchases for our next concept structure, which would be our Transportation Training Center, which would be located, again, if it was approved, down in the Lake Havasu area. And this building would be a all things transportation focused facility where we would have auto service and auto collision. We would have marine, so like all of the boats and the jet skis and the personal watercraft. We would have power sports, what would be the motorcycles, the side-by-sides, the razors, and then RV. And so we would focus on all of those kinds of training programs at that location.
And this concept came up, too, similar to the AMTC, when Dr. Klippenstein got here and said, let's reach out to the community, find out what the need is, what's the demand. And this was a big demand from that sector, that industry sector, was they need more people to be experts, be trained in fixing RVs, boats, UTVs. They just don't have, there's so many of those out here. And they just can't find people that are qualified and trained to work on them locally. So they have to go to Vegas and Phoenix to try to bring somebody in.
Under the hood of your Chevy.
Right.
Yeah. It's totally different.
And what happens is they end up poaching from one another. And so the same employees kind of go around and around in a cycle helping these different companies. So when we talk to Anderson Power Sports, for example, one of their greatest challenges is bringing in those people who are trained in power sports specifically, and will stay in that industry.
I know that a couple of years ago, a buddy of mine in the construction business was talking specifically about Havasu, that it was common in Havasu that general contractors were going on a job, somebody else's job, and they'd walk up to somebody swinging a hammer and say, "How much you making?" And then they'd go, "I'll give you this." Okay. And then off he goes.
Yep, the supply and demand.
They steal him right off the job site.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand how that works in power sports too. You
know?
Absolutely.
And again, when you're operating in a deficit of workers, that is what's going to happen.
Well, and the same with HVAC.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why. And then on the consumer side, if you call in and you have to wait 6 months to get your boat in, that's one of the reasons.
Right.
They have so many and not enough people to get the product through.
My buddy Dennis Miller in Fort Mohave has a precision auto or marine, and his problem is he's got too many boats to work on.
Mm-hmm.
He's got them backed up all the time.
Yep.
And I talked to him about advertising. He goes, "I don't need to advertise. I need people. I need bodies." Well, let's advertise that. No, I don't want to advertise that. I want, But he's always backed up. He's got boats at his house he can't get to.
Yeah, and that's what that Jason's been working on, the Transportation Tech Center. We have the Transportation Technology Training Center, so T3C is what shorthand we call it. But that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason is the demand, local demand, and it's not just Havasu. Of course, it's Bullhead as well. You have the river and the lake.
Needles.
Yes, and Needles. Yep, the whole region. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a building that is broke ground.
Oh no, it is not.
Yeah,
again, we're at concept right now.
Yeah.
So this is a concept show.
Yeah. Well, we called it. We say shovel ready because if we get the money and then the board approves moving forward to the next step. So the board's approved this in the facilities master plan, and so it's there. It's the next one that would be ready to go if the college can get the funding and the local support for it.
Okay. All right. Which roughly how much are you looking for?
16 million.
Yeah, right around there.
That's all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So we have the foundation also helping trying to raise money with get sponsorships, and they're looking at sponsorships, which we forgot to mention also with the Advanced Manufacturing Training Center. If anybody has an industry they'd like to sponsor, like the welding section of the facility, or another section, or the naming rights for the full facility, they can get a hold of the foundation or get a hold of Jason at jgee@mohave.edu, and he can get you to the right people for that. But if you go to the website and up at the top there's a button that says give at mohave.edu, that'll take you to the foundation, and you can go to the foundation and you can find the foundation director, Julio. His contact information right there, and he'll help get that set up. Yeah.
He's been here in the past.
Yeah.
You know, another interesting thing about the AMTC that we haven't really mentioned is our ability to do mobile training. In other words, we take what we have in the facility, we load it on a trailer, and we go to the site of the company. Because there are some companies who say, I can't give up my people. You know, I need them here.
Right.
So we, to a certain degree, again, probably I would guess, 70% of what we have in the facility is able to be loaded up and taken to their location. And so we've actually done that with one or two companies already on a trial basis.
That's a huge benefit.
Yes, and our mobile welding program has been running on for a couple of years now, and so we can do mobile welding training and testing to American Welding Society standards through a mobile unit.
And if you want to sponsor that mobile unit, you can do that too. We'll put your name on it.
I might want to put Kiwanis on it because I need a couple frames made in a trailer.
There we go.
Were you a Beatles fan at all?
Nah, I really wasn't until...
You're out. Okay, James.
I love the Beatles.
Okay. James,
enough from me today.
Jason, you got the rest of the show.
All right, great.
We were talking off air about the trades and the fact that some of these things you don't necessarily need a degree in, but you need a certificate so that you can go to an employer and say, hey, look, I took this class at Mohave College. See that? Mohave College?
Yeah.
Mohave College, and I'm certified to do this. And,
correct.
And that's what you do.
Absolutely. In fact, when I got here 12 years ago, that was one of the first things that I did, is I was looking at how traditional college was being offered in the trades, and what we were not getting success. We were not getting people to complete their entire degree. Why?
Right.
Because they would get through their trade classes and then just leave.
Right.
And so I said, why are we continuing to do that? We can't show any signs of success. So we basically eliminated all of the degrees out of the trades areas and focused on those certifications like you're talking about. Now, there's still a place for degrees.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely, right? Especially if you're going to go into management or things like that. But then, rather than do it inside of a trade specifically, we have business degrees that are for organizational management. So if you're going to be a manager, you can get an associate's degree in organizational management where you combine your trade credits plus some business credits plus those 15 credits of general education to make an associate's degree in organizational management. And then we do the same thing in an entrepreneurial situation as well.
With Rusty.
Right, exactly. Rusty.
And so
with
for those
Tri-State AC Hero.
Yep.
He actually worked for us as well. He was an instructor for us for a time.
Okay.
He went from the industry into instruction and eventually started up his own business.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate the support we've had from him in all of our work because, again, without that partnership with the industry partners, we don't have anywhere to place our students in terms of their completion.
And the business, so everybody knows, the business program is now moved under CTE. So Jason oversees the business program as well. So really, you have a great package there. Let's say I want to do HVAC. Well, I don't know anything about HVAC, but eventually someday I'd like to be a business owner too. I can go into the college, take the HVAC program, and take business classes, and then the college can set you up, because the college also has the small business administration connected to it, can set you up to get small business administration loans to start your business in HVAC, just as one example.
Monday I had on the program Blake Hubbard, who's the CEO of Valley View Medical Center, and I said to him, I said, so are you going to the college on graduation day when they're pinning the nurses and taking them all to lunch and offering them a job? He goes, dude, we're in there long before that. So I'm assuming that's the same with the HVAC. Is Rusty coming around mid-semester saying,
absolutely,
Jason, I need to hire 3 at the end of this semester. What 3 am I hiring?
So I don't know if they asked that last question or not, right? But
if I know Rusty,
yes, we have partnerships with several companies, and we invite all companies in any field to come in and present to our students. We consider it an open door.
Right.
All it needs to be is a connection and scheduled time, so it doesn't disrupt the educational process.
Sure.
But we welcome anyone, any company, to come to our campus and present what they have to offer, whether it's jobs or just future, keeping up on this is what's happening in the industry right now. We want to support that kind of interaction between our students. And we're also working on building up the apprenticeship model for those who want that formal apprenticeship experience in all of these different trades.
Gina Morga, the director of marketing at Western Arizona Regional Medical Center, is trying to get this kid, who I think I told you last time you were here, he put my PICC line in my shoulder when I had my infection, and it goes like through your body almost to your heart. It's like, I forget how long it is, but it's longer than a pencil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good size. So he's putting it in under radiology, or under ultrasound, I guess. And we're chatting, me. And he tells me, yeah, I've been here 6 years, 7 years, or whatever, and I started in housekeeping. I said, you're putting this line in my heart, and you started in housekeeping? I said, hello? Please tell me this is the line, not part of a straw out of a broom or something, And so we chatted, and I said, I need you on my radio show. Because he went to Mohave College, when we called it MCC back in the day. He went to Mohave College, and that's where he learned all this.
Yeah.
So I told Gina Morga, good, you need to bring him on.
Yeah, definitely.
I want people to understand in our community that, and what you were just talking about, Jason, you bring these businesses in because your goal is to take somebody who's taken the electrical classes and put them to work.
Correct.
And that's one thing I don't think we can't get that word out there enough about the value that these programs bring to the student and to the businesses and the local communities, is that a lot of these students, you mentioned it a bit ago, they have job offers before they leave these programs.
Exactly.
Because people need them out there. So you'll have from dental hygiene, radiologic technology, welding, HVAC, all of those programs. You can go in there and you can find a student who is already hired somewhere. They're finishing their program to get their certificate or their degree and then start work.
And just to add to that, many of our faculty will actually walk those students to those jobs and say, Anderson, Ford, you need 2 techs. I've got 2 right here.
Right.
And our faculty do that because they're connected with those students. They've built that strong relationship with them, and they're there to vouch for them.
There's a gal that works at Maverick up on the Parkway who has her culinary degree from MCC, and she runs the kitchen.
Yep.
And she said to me, I got my culinary degree. I said, where'd you get it? She goes, MCC.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go over to Laughlin, and I think it's the Riverside, I forget which one. They've got a couple there, but the head chef would graduate from the culinary program.
Right.
Yep. You can go onto the website. If you click on the testimonials on the first page, it'll take you to a page where it has all their video testimonials, and he's in there, and he talks about how the program helped him, and he worked his way up through the kitchen.
And some of these programs, like where, if you go to the college you want to take your AA, you're going to be there 2 years. Some of these programs you can get in and out of a lot quicker than that.
1 year is the max right now.
1 year is the max.
Yeah.
So if you want to become an auto repairer, or you want to become a welder, or you want to become HVAC, it's 1 year.
It's 1 year, 12 months max.
And
those are multiple certificates in most cases. It's not a single certificate in that 12 months.
Yeah.
So if they need to stop out, like, for example, I'm just going to use auto service as an example. We have a basic and an advanced certificate. That basic service certificate gets someone into working for Brake Masters or AutoZone or being at a parts house or maybe even starting at some of the dealerships at the most basic level. You take the advanced, now you're going in as a technician and you have those skills that are a little bit higher up and get you a little bit further along in the process.
Which come with a bigger paycheck.
But it come with a bigger paycheck.
And,
exactly.
dirty hands.
Yes.
And then you take the business classes and you start your own shop.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and people do that all the time.
Yeah.
So right now, with this list that James gave me here, which one of these classes would you say is the most popular? Is it the truck driving or?
Which is the most class? I would say our welding program is our strongest program right now.
Oh, okay.
So we have between
and when he says strongest, he means most people.
Yeah,
most demand. Yeah.
175 welders, probably.
Ooh.
Student welders in our program right now.
And that's here at the Bullhead campus.
That's at all three.
All three. Okay.
But our Bullhead welding program is our strongest out of the three.
Of course.
We're not biased or anything, right?
No. Well, and the college was the very first certified welding program
by the testing facility. Yes.
Testing facility by the American Welding Society. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you also do that with students from River Valley High School.
Absolutely.
Because I know one that went through it. They come to the college to take that class.
Yeah, we were there for a while, and
at River Valley.
At River Valley High School. We don't have that going right now, but if they had their instructor come to us, get qualified to do that, we could do it right back in there right away. We don't have to wait around to do that because they have the facility to do it for sure.
What a great opportunity for a high school student to graduate as a welder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have early morning programs for them as well as evening.
Right.
So we have a very strong contingent of what's called concurrent courses that are the equivalent of dual enrollment. We do concurrent. That means they're on our site instead of at the high school, right?
Right.
And we do culinary, auto service, auto collision, HVAC, welding, all at the Bullhead campus here in the morning as well as in the evening.
So meeting that student's need to go to high school and graduate high school with your high school diploma and your certificate in HVAC or your certificate in welding and start work the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of those I always tell people, I wish I would have known some of this when I was in high school, but I was the guy that took wood shop. So I could build you a clock.
Wood shop is almost there, right?
Yeah, a wooden clock. That's about as far as I got.
That's actually a future program. We have a construction technology program.
Don't tell James that. He's going to want to.
He's going to go and join it. Yeah.
No, he's going to want to teach it.
Number one student right here.
I can teach wood clocks.
So yeah, our construction technology certificate. We're just waiting on federal approval and accreditation approval, and then we'll get that up and running here in Bullhead as well.
Yeah. Don't ask me to change the oil in your car. But if you need a lacquered, log that I can stick in a clock and put some numbers on it.
You got it figured out.
I love it. But you did talk about the accreditation.
Yeah.
These are not classes that you and James and Klippenstein sit around a table and design.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
We work with our industry partners all the time. We never build our own.
Right.
We sit down and have long conversations, or we have specific accreditor expectations. So I'm going to use auto service and welding as examples.
Okay.
There are national accrediting standards at those levels. So if you see ASE certified on the side of the wall of your auto shop, we're teaching to those same standards.
Because they've told the accreditation people tell you what you have to teach and what that student has to be able to do when they graduate.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Just like that water jet. So that's that's the next thing that's in the industry that they're looking for people.
Okay.
So then Jason and the college will look at, okay, well, that's going to becoming an industry standard, so we need to train people in this.
Correct.
Right.
And lasers is another one that's coming in that's very that's going to make a real change, because I'll tell you, any one of us in here can look like a professional welder when you're doing laser welding. It's just really that simple of a process. But you got to know how to use it properly, because you've got radiation issues and things like that are a little bit different than your traditional welder. It may not light you on fire, but it'll radiate you instead.
We have an engineer in the fire department who his part-time gig is he is a laser cutter, and he cuts metal and makes. You've probably seen in some of the stores around town that they sponsor the toy program, and they have that big. They make something different every year. I think last year they made like what looks like a chainsaw, and they give those to the businesses. Well, he makes these in his garage.
Yeah. That's what do you have there?
Yeah, we have CNC plasma. We cut with CNC plasma. The AMTC will have CNC mills, routers, lathes.
Yeah.
It's all going to be part of this elevated. That's the advanced part of the manufacturing, right? It's not that the hand process is a bad process. It just isn't fast. It doesn't move as quickly, and it doesn't allow for production to increase. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, just on the artistic side, so they'll have a lot of people in welding, just kind of getting on the welding rabbit hole here, but the artistic side, so you'll have people come in and they want to learn how to weld specifically for artwork, sculptures, that sort of thing. Well, they have this computer there that you put in the design, and it automatically will cut it for you. And it's, they've done ornaments that are the mascot. So it's really intriguing when you get in there and you see just how far this has developed. It's not the standard welding that you would have thought of years ago.
Sure.
It's really becoming high tech.
And how to make that bead shine or look
Absolutely.
Right.
I have a neighbor his son is a underwater welder. So when do you start that class?
Yeah, we're not quite ready to go there.
Be out at the lake.
Yeah.
His son does underwater welding, in San Diego and in Long Beach.
That's the elite of the elite, for sure.
Yeah. They are the highest paid, right? The underwater welders.
Yeah, and it's mostly hazard pay.
Yeah. So you have to be able to breathe underwater and weld at the same time.
Yeah. And remember, water conducts electricity, so you're surrounded by this stuff, and so there's a lot of challenge there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like something that's easy to do.
No, you have to be a rare breed. I mean, you have to be a master welder at the same time as a master scuba. So it's really a combination.
And probably both started as a hobby for this guy,
Probably.
Yeah. All right. We've talked a lot about the trades, and all these positions, all these classes that you're teaching, and what does CTE stand for?
Career and Technical Education.
So all these career and technical education courses literally have people that want to hire them the day that they're done.
Absolutely.
I mean, every one of these courses.
Before they're done.
Yeah.
Those and we have the other academic division. We have 4 academic divisions, so CTE is one. Another one that we have is health and public services. So that's the dental, nursing.
Tracy.
Yeah, same as Jason's. They have students who, before they graduate, have already been hired. They already know where they're going to go work.
Well, Tracy Gift has hired Steve Smith, who's a retired captain from the Bullhead Police Department, to teach. Because he's now a dental hygienist. Dental hygienist.
Hygienist. Yep.
He's one of those.
Yeah.
And so he teaches there, and he works for Jennings and Larson's. So I know he's in there looking at students all the time to see how they're working and which one he's going to take.
I'll be in there in an hour. I have an appointment.
Oh, so, congratulations, and I'm sorry.
I know.
You got plumbing problems and teeth problems.
And teeth problems.
Welcome to the weekend.
Yeah. And that's one of the exciting things is we have a wide assortment of ways to get our faculty. It's very interesting how some of them come to us, right? Some of them come directly out of the industry, and some of them we grow our own.
Yeah.
And so we take a student.
You grew Steve Smith. He went through the dental hygienist program, and now he comes back and teaches it.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have such a great commitment with the college to providing that additional training and keeping our tradespeople and our others skilled up, right? Keeping them current with what's going on in the industry, with what's going on in their different practices. That's one of the things that I really like about working at Mohave. It's a good attitude of the idea that we are all learners. It's not just the students, right? The students are our primary focus, of course, but if we're not taking care of ourselves and training ourselves up as well, then we're not really doing them the best service that we can.
And that's half of it, staying on top of technology and staying on top of what's current. Like you're going to the jet blower, the jet cutter, or whatever.
Water jet.
And that's one reason, and we'll talk about it next month when we talk about why the college went from MCC to Mohave College.
Right.
It's because of the actions of Jason and the other team members at the college who are always moving the college forward. It's not what the average person would think of as a typical, stereotypical community college anymore.
And now you're going to have 4-year classes.
Exactly. We're going to have bachelor's degrees. We have accreditation coming in the fall, and everything is expected, of course, to go well.
Sure.
And they'll be offered next spring.
You'll be able to offer BSN.
Eventually, that's the first 3 that'll roll out, though. That's not in the first 3. The first 3 are early education, our K through 8th education, biology, and public services.
Yep.
Yeah, public services with an emphasis on mental health and substance abuse, I believe.
Okay, which is big too.
Yeah, big around here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
Yes.